sides for the pontoons. And tonight I'm going to be putting these together. So these will get sandwiched in here like this. We raised up a little bit. These will get sandwiched in here, and so I need to make a bunch of cut a bunch of pieces of wood into this length, which is about 6 inches. It is about 6 inches wide, this cavity in here, and I'm going to run them all around this whole thing, spaced out however I see fit, so that this all becomes one solid unit. And the ones on the top I'm actually going to make thicker, wider, because the arms that attach the bike to these will sit on the top here. So I'm going to make some pretty wide, they'll be 6 inches this way, but they'll probably also be 6 inches this way. So I have plenty of room for play and to figure that part out. I haven't really thought that part through yet, so I'm trying to give myself as big of a platform to work with as I can. I have here a bunch of pieces of oak hardwood flooring, red oak to be precise. So you can see the tongue here, and these have been ripped down. The hardwood guys that were doing the floor just left these laying there. I figured, hey, there's some pretty good chunks of wood, so I have a bunch of it that are all about the same rip, about this wide. And this kind of wood is super strong, and so I'm going to use it for the cross pieces for everything. And I've set up here a little jig that is stopping it at 6 inches. So that'll be good for both of my front two pontoons. So I'm just going to cut up a bunch of chunks of this real quick. Well, that was really stupid of me. I should have ripped those into smaller pieces before I cut them into short lengths. It's really dangerous to rip short pieces, so I could have avoided a lot of scary cutting if I would have done that when they were the full sticks instead of these little pieces, but still out of 10, so I'm good. So now I'm going to go around and figure out the best layout for putting these cross pieces in here. So it'll kind of just look like this. They'll be all over. One of the things I have to do is on all these round corners, I have to make sure I have a piece like this all over on every round corner, so that when I stretch the shrink wrap around the corners, it's not going to like suck into the void, but it'll have a piece here on every round part that'll stop it and that'll support it. So let's get making. Well, there are probably 101 easier ways to do that, but this is it. It's all glued together, it's all nailed together. That worked pretty perfectly. I mean, it was annoying and I had to work really quickly because I glued everything at the same time. But that's what it'll look like. So those go all the way around so that when like I said, when I stretch the shrink wrap over it, it'll have all those braces in there so it doesn't suck in to the void. And check this out, this is the coolest part. Fits like a glove. Listen to it. Kaboom. Look at that. Now I just have to put the wider top pieces in here that will function as my platforms for the arms that will attach it to the bike. There she blows. That is one pontoon that is mostly ready. So this is totally overkill. I'm notorious for overbuilding things, and I have done it again. But I just really don't want it to break, and I really don't want to sink. Now what I could have done, and some of you have probably noticed this, once I wrap this in shrink wrap, the milk jugs are kind of going to be obsolete. They're just going to be in there trapped, not doing anything. I could have just used them as like measurement tools. You know, there's 6 gallons, that's how much I need to displace. Okay, build a frame around it. That's how it needs to be, and that kind of does away with a lot of the math I'd have to do to find the volume of what's actually inside here. Which actually ended up being way more than 6 gallons because of all this air between each one of the milk jugs. So it's way more than I need, but that's good because it'll keep me out of the water. But the reason that I didn't just build the frame and wrap it in shrink wrap after I thought of that is this. I don't trust the shrink wrap to not leak. So, you know, it should, if I do it right, it should be watertight. All of this should be watertight when I'm done, but I don't trust that. I don't trust myself to make it watertight enough that there would be no leaks. So this is kind of a fail-safe. Even if it does leak, the milk jugs will still be sealed and everything. So even if this whole cavity fills up with water, the milk jugs will still keep me up. So there's no way I'm sinking. And as you can see, I put these 2 bigger blocks up here. And as I already said like 3 times, that's where my arms are going to go. So I made those bigger so I can build off of those and attach it to the bike. That's it. Wasn't too super hard or difficult or anything. It didn't take that long, but I do have a lot more of them to make. It's coming along, and if I've done my calculating correctly, I will be done with everything quite a bit earlier than November 5th. So this is really helping me not procrastinate. It's awesome. Check in tomorrow for the next segment.